All right. Hello, everybody. So today we are at the Q&A portion of our podcast. We asked a few weeks ago to send in your questions, and I am going to read them and answer them to the best of my ability right now. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right. First question. What makes your podcast different from others, and why start a podcast now? Okay. I started the podcast now because Sean and Harry have been on me for years to do it. And Sean has been a best friend of mine for 21 years, and Harry is my boss. And every time I would go on our company podcast, there would be quite a few views. And so it kind of got to the point where it was like, okay, well, like, you're obviously doing well, like, on these pods. Why don't you just do your own? So after a long time of convincing, I did. I guess it is kind of silly to start a pod in 2025 when there's like 10,000 out there. But I feel like what makes ours different is I'm not just talking about one thing specifically. I'm talking about every aspect of my life, things I've been through. I'm talking a lot about mental health with my guests because I think that that's important. I don't feel like there's a lot of pods that you go to that just have like real life working class people that talk about some of these kind of deeper rooted issues and problems that we're seeing with mental health and your upbringing and how your upbringing really affects your mental health and just the trickle effect of that. So thanks for your question. All right. What is your work-life balance? There is not one. There is no work-life balance. I work, and then I work some more. No, I'm kidding. Fortunately enough, I'm a single mother, and I have a daughter. And fortunately enough, I have one of the best ever nannies that you could have. Sean actually introduced me to her. She started working for me in 2019, and she just the best. I mean, she couldn't be better. So if it takes a village, right? So if it weren't for her and the wonderful school she goes to and the other people in my life that helped me, it wouldn't be done. But my job itself is really a 7-day-a-week thing. We have news come out. The majority of the news comes out during the week, yes, when the market's open. But we get a lot of it over the weekend because we can't report over the weekend, right? Or we don't report over the weekend because the market's closed. So I'm on call 7 days a week, and I check my computer 7 days a week. So that balance should probably change a little bit. And then now that I've started this pod, now I just have another job for me to work on too. But I enjoy it. I like being busy. So. All right, next question. What musical artists have you felt most drawn to and why? Okay, that's easy. All right, there. Can you see that, Sean? There. This guy right here. And he's right there. Elton John has been my favorite artist since I was about 12 years old. Originally why I started listening to him, this is a true story. I was with my birth mother at a store called Tuesday Morning. I don't even know if they're still around. They may or may not be, but it's like, it wasn't secondhand, but it was like a store where if it didn't sell somewhere else, it went to Tuesday Morning, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. I guess it's maybe kind of like a Ross or a Marshall's or something. Anyway, I was like 12 years old, and she, ran in to do whatever at Tuesday Morning. And the song Benny and the Jets came on the radio. And my life was changed from then. Like, I heard that song and just the first chord, the dun, 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 dun. And I was like, I had never had like that feeling before when I heard that song. Like, it was just like goosebumps from head to toe. Like, I just can't even describe it. It is still my favorite entire song in the entire world. So, but I'm drawn to him just the most because of his story. He was heavy into drugs and alcohol and abusive relationship, and then got out of the abusive relationship, got sober, and has now been sober. Oh my God, I think he's been sober like 40 years, something crazy. But his songs just really spoke to me in like my deepest, darkest times. When it came to bad breakups, my car accident, raising my daughter alone, his music was always relatable to me. And so many of his songs were written from a place of hurt, from him. And even though he was hurting from other things, like I was hurting from some of the same things as well. Even though he's from, Europe and I'm from a small town in Texas, like I feel like music is very universal in that way. And all of his music has just resonated with me and stayed with me and gotten me through my darkest times. And I have seen him 10 times in concert. I will add. He's not touring anymore, but if he does, your girl will be on a plane. Okay. Who inspires you? Oof. I think I draw a lot of my inspiration from my daughter. I do everything in my life for her so she can have a better life than I did, if that's even possible. I'm inspired by her every single day. She saved my life, in ways that I didn't realize could happen. You're never supposed to put all of your happiness into a person, but it's like when you have a child, that concept becomes so foreign because I literally live and breathe and work as hard as I do for her. And me getting up and showing up and being 100% all the time for her, she deserves that. She didn't ask to be born. She didn't ask for extenuating circumstances around what's going on right now. And I got to try to, just make it everything better for her. But yeah, she's my biggest inspiration. I have a few other people that inspire me, but she's number one. I would say I inspire myself too, though, a little bit. I inspire myself, I think, because I don't know, my haters are my motivators. So it's like as soon as somebody tells me I'm not good at it or I can't do it, I think then I inspire myself to be like, yeah, you can and you will. So, yeah, there's that one. Okay. What tips do you have for women in a male-dominated industry? Ooh. Thick skin, I'll tell you that. I obviously work in a highly male-dominated industry. It is starting to change. We are starting to see the shift of more women entering the alcohol space, beer space, non-alc, all of the things that we cover with work. And I would like to add my entire team, aside from my boss and Jordan, are women. So Harry's always been a proponent for women and women working in the industry. And I would definitely say, I don't know if pioneer is the right word, but our main competitor, I don't think they have as many females as we do. I'm not too sure on that, but tips are hard. You got to really build relationships. You have to keep thick skin, tough skin. You can't get easily offended when you're not included in conversation or not asked. There are still multiple men that I have known all these years I've been in the industry that I'll walk up to try to like say hello to, and they act like they don't know me. So you got to have tough skin, and you just got to keep working hard to show, your worth, really, which is sad, but who run the world? Girls. All right. Next question. What's your story? How did you get to where you are today as the president of Shoemaker Publishing Company? Oh, my story. Honestly, I really had no guidance when I was younger on what I wanted to do with my life. And also, I look back now being 38, and I'm like, it's a wild concept to me that like at the age of 18, when you're either going into a trade or going to college, and like the first question they ask you is, what's your major? And it's like, dude, like I just graduated high school. Like I live with my parents still. Like I don't even know how to like pay a bill. Like I barely know how to wash clothes. Like to me, it's such a weird idea to like, you're just kind of thrown out at this age that has been picked for you, and you're still so young. I mean, like I still have a lot of growing to do, and I'm 38. So it's like, I never really had guidance on what I really wanted to do. I was never really around much that I truly felt like a passion for, that I loved, except people. I loved being around people. I loved hearing people's stories. I loved hearing their struggles, which ended me up running marketing and admissions for a few nursing homes in Texas. And I loved working with like the elderly. Loved it. I loved the staff. I loved the camaraderie. I had a great boss. We had a great relationship. I left, I left and didn't go back because I had my daughter, but, I started there. And then when I had my daughter, I did not work. And then, I was in a position where I was quite literally jobless, homeless, no money, and a baby on my hip. And I started applying for any and every job that I could find. And I literally took the first job that offered me. I mean, I interviewed with them on a Monday and I was hired by a Friday. And I had taken a substantial pay cut from what I was making prior, but I had also not been working for 2 years at the time, I think it was. And it was a different industry. I didn't really want to go back into medicine at the time, and I'm glad that I didn't, because then now we know now with COVID, and that was, I wouldn't have been able to survive doing that. And I don't have a spleen, so I probably would have gotten like very ill, and that wouldn't have been good, just in general. I met Harry, and I knew him for a year before I started working for him, and I literally started, doing grunt work. And that was 8 years ago. Grunt work. Like, I'm not even going to get into some of the tasks and things that like I had to do to make a paycheck, but I was okay with it, right? Like, and in the interim, I went to cosmetology and did hair, and I loved that. I miss those days, but this back, don't miss them. I'll tell you that right now. So I was actually very shocked when I was announced president last year. And I wasn't shocked because I don't think I'm worthy or anything of the sort, but I was just shocked. Harry made me work for it. He made me work. I put in the work. So, but I also love what I do there too, right? Like the staff, like we all have a very, we're close. We're a tight knit group, but not. I wouldn't consider us like super close. Mainly because we all live in different cities. Only 3 of us live in San Antonio, and the rest live elsewhere. But we work well together. We come together as a team well. We cry hard and party hard. Like we work. We just work. So, yeah, that's some of that. Okay. How do you deal with comparison and self-image in the age of social media? Ooh, okay, that one's rough for me. I'm going to take a sip of my topo on that one. I'm not drinking out of the bottle, for, I guess, licensing purposes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like having the bottle up here, it's not, there are clients. They're owned by Coca-Cola. There are clients, but no favoritism here. I honestly don't really try to look at social media that much. I have a private social media, not private, like a personal social media that Sean deals with. I don't post on it. I don't do anything on it. It's strictly there for work and work purposes. I feel like anyone, and I have suffered in the past with anorexia, and when I look at myself now that I'm actually eating and healthy, I don't like it because I've gained a lot of weight and I would like to lose weight, but it's been very hard just with certain issues that I have health-wise. My health has kind of been bad since my car accident 12 years ago. So I've just struggled with a lot of different things. But I try really not to look at social media that much. And I really advise others to do the same because I feel like you're going to get stuck in this loop of, oh my God, she's so much prettier than me. She's so much thinner than me. She has so much more money than me. She has a better job than me. Oh my God, her husband's rich. Oh my gosh, her parents are wealthy. All these things, and if we're being honest, you don't post the bad shit online, right? You're not going to go on Instagram and post that your husband cheated on you, but you can't leave because you got 3 kids and you don't work and his family has all the money or whatever the case may be. So I really try not to compare myself to anyone online or in life. I mean, of course it happens. Like I'm a woman. Of course, I'll see a girl that's thinner and I'm like, damn, like I wish my body looked like hers. And then I get back to reality and I'm like, that's surface level bullshit. Like that's vain. Like there's no need to have that apart. So I really don't deal with it too much because I just don't look at it. So, okay, next question. If you could go back in time and talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you say? Oof. Okay. I think I would tell my 17-year-old self that the harder days are going to make for you to be a better me. I think I would say embrace the heartbreaks, the hardships, embrace the breakups, being broke, all the things that are really bad and are terrible are hopefully temporary. And I mean, in my case, they are. A lot of the things that I've been through have been temporary. And I've said it before, it can't rain forever. The rain has to stop. But I would tell my 17-year-old self to give myself a lot more grace than I have. Go easy on yourself because life is hard enough. Everything's going to be okay. And work hard and be nice to people. That's really what I would say to myself. Okay, what's the best advice you've ever gotten? Oof. Auntie. When in doubt, do nothing. That is the best piece of advice I have ever received in my life. And I use that in my day-to-day life. The next one is also from Auntie, but when in doubt, do nothing is number 1, hands down. Apply that to your life and see how it changes because it will. The second piece is do everything in moderation. If you drink moderately. If you eat moderately. If you work out moderately. I feel like if you do anything in moderation, it's just beneficial, right? I mean, think about it. If we don't do things in moderation, we'd be drunk, obese, chain smoker, drug addict. If you do things in moderation, like you're probably never going to develop like a really bad habit that sticks with you. So those are the 2 best pieces of advice. I've gotten a lot more, but those are the 2 that stick out. And Auntie always coming in. Okay, and last question. favorite travel memories. Oof. My best friend that passed away, Johnny, I did quite a bit of travel with him for work and because he owned a distributorship here in San Antonio. So we would travel sometimes for personal, sometimes for work. And those memories were, I think, probably my favorite because now that he's gone and having those memories will be with me forever, even though he's not. And the pictures too, like, right? Like I love looking back at our pictures and like videos of listening to him laugh and us having fun and just, yeah, those are probably like my favorite travel memories. And then I've taken my daughter on multiple vacations, but I took her overseas last summer and that memory will stay with me forever. That was, we spent 2 weeks in Europe and that was incredible. Just watching her and her view of a different country and the flights and a different part of the world and all of it. It was heartwarming, and I'm blessed that I'm able to do, nice things like that for her. So I would say those are probably my favorite travel memories. I have more. My dad always took me on great trips. He and I, and then, with his wife as well and stuff like that. But lots of fun ones with my dad. The Cayman Islands is a very special place to me in my heart and always will be. And I spent a lot of my time there with my dad. And so just great lifetime memories and lifelong memories from that. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for sending your questions in. I hope I answered them to the best of my abilities. And hopefully we can do another Q&A again soon. Okay. We'll see y'all next time.
I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to a little extra.
What?
A little extra here. A little extra.
Okay.
My own questions. I'm going to Larry King you.
Oh, my. Oh, I'm nervous now.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
So me and Harry, for a while, we were saying you need to start this podcast. What do you think your biggest hesitations were to get it going?
Fear of criticism, fear of failure. Also adding another thing to my plate, right? Between working full time, being a single mom, and all the other things that I juggle. I think all of those were factors. And I do feel like timing too. I feel like sometimes somebody can come to you with a really good idea, but the timing's just not right. And I felt like the first time y'all approached me with it, again, when in doubt, do nothing. I was kind of doubtful of it. And I was like, no, I wasn't really there yet. And so I think it was a combination of kind of all of those things.
Yeah, it's a big venture to go on. What was it that kind of kicked it off to tell you that, okay, maybe this is time?
I think with what's going on with me personally in my life and what's happened in this last almost year with me going no contact, losing a lot of family members and the struggles I'm going through with all of that, I think that I kind of had that nudge of like, no, do it. Like, do it. It was, I don't know if it was like God, if it was Johnny, if it was, I don't know what it was, but it was this nudge saying like, you should do it. Like, take the leap of faith, do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've shot a few now. So like, how do you feel now?
I mean, I still get like nervous, right? Like when we drop, we drop on Wednesdays and that's why like I let you run everything. Cause I feel like if I like saw a mean comment, I would just be like, I'm going to quit. I'm done. I can't see, if somebody's like, oh, she's fat or she sounds like a man or she's annoying or who wants to listen to her. I feel like if I heard any of that, I would just be like, I'm out. I can't handle this. I'm too fragile right now. So I mean, like, I still get nervous, but I get excited for Wednesdays. Like when you cut the edits and you send them, like I get excited watching them. And you do great.
Oh,
Your edits are.
well, what kind of feedback have you gotten so far?
It's all been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. There actually hasn't been like one negative thing said yet.
Yeah.
Or to my face or to the internet. Like all the comments, because I told you, I was like, if people say mean stuff, delete it. And that hadn't happened.
No.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So what do you hope to accomplish with your podcast?
I want this podcast to reach people and give them faith and hope that everything's going to be okay. I want it to reach all walks of life that are dealing with anything, a divorce, a loss of a child, a spouse dying, addiction. That's why I have all different walks of life come on here. I want this to be a place that people can come and hear stories and know they're not alone, and that it's okay to fail and it's okay to fuck up, but like, guess what? You're going to get back up and it's going to be okay. Yeah. That's really my goal on this.
Okay. Last question. You had a question there talking about your 17-year-old self. All right. If you're going to send a message to your future self, what's it going to be?
Ooh, you did it, bitch.
Love it. Fucking love it.
Love it.
All right, boo.
All right. Bye, guys. Oh. That was so good. That travel question actually was such a good answer. I loved that. Thank you.